Today we're traveling thousands of miles away from my backyard, as the crow flies, to Dingle, Ireland. This seaside town in County Kerry is popular with tourists, including my friend Jerry, who visited there last month. One day, Jerry texted me to say that a couple of crows were staking out the picnic area where he was, watching for discarded goodies. Of course, I was very curious about exactly what species of crow, or corvid, Jerry was seeing. The image in the picnic table photo doesn't tell you much, so I asked for more info. Jerry then took these 3 snapshots of one of the birds as it perched on the roof of the pavilion. While I do watch a lot of bird videos from European creators, it wasn't immediately obvious to me what this bird was. So I looked online and found this wonderful guide to the corvids of Ireland by Niall. With this information in hand, and a little too much free time, I dove down the rabbit hole of Irish corvids and tried to identify the bird in the photos. The first corvid described in the article is the rook. The dingle bird appears to be all black, just like rooks. Quite obviously though, rooks have bare cheeks, looking kind of like they are always molting around the face. I also didn't think the beak and the angle of the forehead looked quite right. Still, I couldn't rule out a match based on just this set of photos. The next corvid in the article is the western jackdaw. I thought this bird looked more similar in shape to the dingle bird than the rook, but this species has plenty of dark gray as well as black in its plumage. It also has pale-colored eyes. I really went back and forth on this one. The lighting in my friend's photos could be hiding lighter plumage, I figured, and I thought I could see some brightness in the eyes that might be more than reflection. I couldn't rule out this species either. Next up are a couple of actual crows, the hooded crow and the carrion crow. The hooded crow can be eliminated. I'm pretty familiar with this species from YouTube. On the other hand, the carrion crow looked like a very close match to me. All black with dark eyes and the right overall shape. There's just one little catch. Carrion crows are rare in Ireland. I've read that the species might have a tiny foothold in the country, but that's all the way over on the other side of the island, closer to the UK. Could Jerry have happened upon a rare visit from a carrion crow in Dingle? It's not impossible, and that was an exciting possibility. It couldn't be ruled out. The next Irish corvid up for consideration is the Chough,
What on earth are Choughs?
That clip is from a Wildwood Trust video on Choughs. I've included a link in the description, and I really encourage you to watch it. These corvids are fascinating, but they are locally endangered in the UK. For our purposes, though, we can quickly rule out this corvid as a match for the dingle bird. No reddish coloration is present on the Irish specimen. The next match candidate is the raven. In areas where ravens overlap with black crows, birders often struggle to tell them apart. The dingle bird appears to be all black, just like a raven. But generally speaking, ravens tend to avoid people and populated areas, much unlike crows. Also, ravens are freaking huge, with giant beaks. I couldn't get a good sense of scale from the dingle photos, but I figured Jerry would have mentioned the bird's size if it was remarkable. Maybe the dingle bird was a young raven? Though with corvids, young does not imply small, especially once a fledgling can fly. I figured the mystery bird probably wasn't a raven, but I still didn't rule out the possibility. The last 2 corvids in the article are the Eurasian magpie and a local species of jay. I was able to rule out these 2 possibilities at a glance. So I was left with these as candidates for the dingle bird: rook, jackdaw, carrion crow, and raven. Have you figured it out yet? Maybe you live in an area where all these corvids are common, and this was a no-brainer for you. I'll admit though, as an American, I was vexed. If you're still trying to work out the puzzle for yourself, please feel free to pause the video here before the big reveal. So, how did I finally figure out the ID? Well, I posted the photos to Reddit, of course. That's where I learned, to my embarrassment, that I'd forgotten something rather fundamental about identifying a bird. You might say I'd made a rookie mistake. The bird that my friend photographed in Dingle was a rook. A juvenile rook. When I revisited the article on Irish corvids, I realized I should have, read the article instead of just looking at the pictures. Right there in the second paragraph was the information I needed during my dive down the rabbit hole. The bare facial skin around the base of the bill is present only on adults. Juveniles lack this feature and have fully feathered faces, leading to possible confusion with the rare Carrion Crow. Remember, this was summer, a time when fledgling birds are literally spreading their wings. While it's often simple to identify a fledgling species, there are trickier cases, including a few much closer to where I call home. For example, here's a juvenile European starling side by side with an adult female house finch. A juvenile dark-eyed junco may be mistaken for a juvenile eastern towhee, especially at a glance or at a distance. I recently found a YouTube video with footage of different types of European corvids side by side, including this scene with adult and juvenile rooks feeding with a carrion crow. There's a link to the video in the description, and I'm so glad I had access to these scenes to close out my little comedy of errors. While I might have saved myself some time if I'd done more research up front, I don't think I would have learned as much, ironically. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment your thoughts. For more corvid content, please consider subscribing. As always, everyone, thank you for birdwatching.